large power outage affecting parts of Manhattan tonight. Look at your screen right now. That is Times Square. That's where the ball drops on New Year's Eve. Usually you see lights all over the place, flashing lights, billboards. Right now it's dark. 42 years to the day that New York City experienced the famous blackout of 1977. Just look at that shot from Times Square. Con Edison right now reporting more than 38,000 customers are without power. We're seeing these numbers grow since the initial power outage was reported. We also know the subway stations aren't necessarily working the way they're supposed to, with New York City Transit Authority tweeting out moments ago that they're advising everybody to come out from underground if they're trying to take the subways. They're trying to get those working as well. Polo Sandoval is out and about gathering more information for us. Polo, tell us what you're seeing and what you've learned.
Well, Anna, for many people here in Midtown Manhattan, was supposed to be a Saturday night catching a Broadway show is resulting basically in standing on a sidewalk here on a summer evening. This is a reality for many people, both New Yorkers and tourists. I'm going to be right off of 8th Avenue and West 52nd. So if you don't know New York too well, basically Times Square is just a couple of blocks that way as I pan over to show you what the situation looks like here on 52nd. Some of the people that you're looking at, all these people who are standing on a sidewalk, were waiting to go inside to catch a musical. But obviously about an hour ago, their plans interrupted, and now they're basically forced to wait out here. And as we pan over to give you kind of a shot, going to be looking north down 8th Avenue, which is a major avenue here, major thoroughfare in New York. You can see a lot of people are resorting now to the buses, because there are many subway stations that are closed. The one at Columbus Circle that I was at just a few moments ago, there was an attendant there that basically said that because of this partial blackout, that subway station was going to remain closed. And then finally, I will mention something that I noticed a little while ago. There were many employees from area businesses that essentially stepped into the streets to try to essentially direct traffic. Keep in mind that the traffic lights do not work here.
Mob justice or a crime of revenge? Guy in Philadelphia allegedly stole a car outside a pizza shop with 3 young children inside. The youngest, 7 months old. 25-year-old mother had left the engine running as she ran inside to visit the father of 2 of the children. He worked at the pizza shop. The parents chased down the stolen vehicle on foot after it became stuck in traffic, pulled the alleged carjacker, Eric Hood, out of the car. Hood then allegedly assaulted the father and fled, but a group of people nearby stopped him and beat him to death. Philadelphia police say that they have video of the encounter. They're trying to identify members of the mob, but no arrests have been made. Should the members of the mob be charged, or is this a case of street justice? What would be the charges if those in the mob were to be prosecuted?
Well, Michael, in a case like this, with this vigilante-type justice, there's a fine line between praise and prosecution. And if it leans towards the latter and there is a prosecution commenced, and that decision has not been made, as I understand it, by D.A. Krasner, I think that the lead charge would likely be voluntary manslaughter. Malice is an element that is necessary for murder. I don't see it here. Involuntary manslaughter, which is a serious charge, there's a mistaken belief that a killing is justified, or a sudden and intense passion that is aroused that leads one to commit acts they wouldn't normally commit. So I think the lead charge would be voluntary manslaughter, but I don't know what's going to be charged.
What about the mom? I mean, the mom pulls up to the pizza shop. She's the one who leaves the 3 kids in the back. She goes inside apparently to see the father of 2 of the children. You know, arguably, but for her leaving them there, none of this happens. Should she face something?
Well, that's the problem here. I mean, as citizens, as parents, I'm sure we can understand we all do things that are risky and we don't think anything will come of it. But if you back out the end of the story, if this is a 5-chapter book, you take the last chapter out where they grab Mr. Hood and beat him to death, and you just have mom going into the pizza store, leaving the Hyundai running with the 3 babies in it, and the cop on the beat is walking by. I think she gets charged. I think it's child endangerment. I mean, you've got a running car, you've got 3 little babies in there, a car could pop out of gear, anything could happen. So I think that that probably has been somewhat mooted by the 5th chapter, so to speak, the fact that a man jumped in that car drove away with those 3 babies, it's likely that nobody gets charged.